when I was your
I love listening to the sound of Dovetail, the musical group, and I interviewed them not long ago, and I was struck when I met, of course, Philip, who is, I guess, the lead in the group, but then I met his wife, Samantha, and I didn't know they were married because when you pull back this camera, you're not going to think they fit together, but the truth is, they do. Take a look at this. Now, this is the sophisticated New York type, and
That's
there
right.
you are, Farmer Brown.
Yeah.
And I tell you what I love about you two. You are not only married, you have an 8-month-old child who travels with you. You travel together, and you're the manager of the group.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that work? Because most people say, you know, I don't want to live with him, or most people say, well, we travel okay, but then we have our separate space. But you all don't have much separate space.
No, ma'am, we do not. We don't have much space at all. We do pretty much everything together, and every day we just wake up and wing it.
Yeah, we love spending our time together. So.
We love
How
to
did
travel.
you meet?
I was an editor of a fashion magazine in Dallas, and
She was, yes, she was.
and we had an event, and I was emceeing it, and he came with one of his musician friends, and their long hair and bandanas and crazy clothes
And amazing music.
I didn't even know at that
Oh,
point.
my gosh.
I saw him before I heard his music.
And what about him captivated you?
Oh, he looked kind of like a bad boy, I think. You know, he looks like a bad boy, but he's not.
No, I can tell he's not. What captivated you about her?
Oh, what didn't?
See.
I was so just, impressed by her poise and her creativity and her ability to flow between different crowds and handle herself. Really, she set the standard in every setting I saw her in, and that was.
Did you
something I
click
hadn't
the minute
seen.
you met?
It took a couple of months. We just kept running into each other and kind of being in the same places, and he moved into my building. He said that was an accident, but
It was coincidental.
I don't
Was it
know.
really?
Well, it was an
was.
artist
South
community.
Side on Lamar.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you kind of moved into this gradually, and I imagine did it start as a friendship, or did it just,
No.
was the chemistry?
Not really.
Oh, you mean the chemistry was there right from the get-go?
Well, we kind of would run into each
Yeah.
other for a couple of months,
Yeah.
and then he asked me to go to one of his shows, and then the next night I asked him to come to an event,
I love
and from that point on, and so we would go to these magazine events, and
Did he
we'd be
dress
in a-
like this?
Well, we would be in cocktail attire, and then we'd end up
I
at
kind of did a.
So would you
Bellum.
pull your
Little
hair back,
variation.
like maybe do a...
I left it down.
No, we wore,
We'll dress everything else
I
up,
always
but
tell this.
let the hair.
I always tell this because,
Stay.
I was always a fashion person. And the first formal event I took him to, he called and said, would it be okay if I wore a full-length fur? And I told my mom that, and she said, this is never going to work. You're never going to want to be outshined.
You haven't tried to change him, have you?
No, and we share accessories and coats.
I just
won't
love
say
this
jeans.
because you know something. I think the success of a marriage depends on total acceptance of both partners for each other, and so many cases we find the man, we love the man. I'm talking from a woman's stand, and then we start trying to change him, teach him how to dress better, get him to be more sociable. Come to where I want to go on vacation, and I love you because you stand alone in strength, and I know this because I can tell it in your eyes and everything about
Thank
you,
you.
but you have the compassion and love to let him be, and you let her be, and so I give you all 100% chance of making it work.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
That's
How
very-
important is humor in your life?
Things are pretty funny every day.
Yeah, we have a pretty similar sense of humor.
We
so
do.
It's real important, especially with a little baby, because he's always falling and hitting his head and scaring us, and
he's-
then he laughs about it, and so that's been probably the biggest source of, I think, shared humor.
Okay, do you
for us.
ever fight over anything like money? Do you ever fight over money?
The
fight
only
about
thing that
money,
we
but
fight about
we fight.
is is work, is Dovetail, because it's hard for me to I'll talk to him like I'm the manager, and he's looking at me like I'm his wife.
Oh,
I'm
I got
you.
you.
Can't take this personally, you know.
So sometimes, like this morning, she said, "As your manager, you know, it's a
to-
process.
And
We're
so
learning
can
it."
you kind of accept that?
Oh yeah.
That's been the hardest part.
But
I've quit a
it's-
couple times, but
I don't-
You've
not
quit
for
and
long.
resigned.
I don't always
done with
react, you know, right off the, but I do
It's hard,
understand.
and he's an
yeah.
artist. He's very sensitive,
That's
and I'm
right.
very dominant and very.
That's right.
You
When's
know,
your birthday?
July 10th.
And when's yours?
April 27th.
So are you all in harmony that way?
Cancer and a Taurus. Well,
Oh my gosh, I don't think so.
no, we're not. But my mom and my brother are Tauruses.
Really?
And so I know how to deal with them very well. I married my mother. He has my mother's personality, and she's my.
I'll tell you, I want to
favorite
watch
person.
you guys through the years because I want you to, whatever happens, stick it out. And sometimes agree to let one lead and the other follow, and then flip it, and the other one leads, and then you
Yeah.
follow. That's
try
what
to do
I
that.
think.
We can
And
take
I
that
love
advice.
their music,
Yeah, we
and
can.
I love these two people, and I wanted you to meet them, and especially because they appear to be so different. But I have a hunch their values and their love for their child is what makes them be able to stay together.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
'Cause you move just like a